Hi, Lauren. It's Chelsea. I really enjoyed listening to your post. It's very nice to hear your side of things coming from the emergency department. Working on med-surg, we actually had a patient, this has probably been 3 or 4 years back, who came in because she had cellulitis of her arm. Well, the cellulitis started as track marks. This patient was also a waitress at one of our local breakfast joints that my husband and I had just frequented the weekend before. She was actually one of our waitresses, and her presentation was very, very odd. She was very jittery. She just kind of had this glazed look in her eyes. Her conversations were they were fairly inappropriate. Every time she would come and refill our coffee, she would say thank you. She wouldn't say how are you or anything like that. She would just pour it and say thank you with this very glazed look in her eyes. She's holding the coffee pot, just kind of shaking her hand kind of like this. We knew something was up with her when we had her as a waitress, and then it was within the next 2 weeks that she ended up one of our patients having cellulitis from drug abuse. She did wear a long sleeve shirt while she was in a restaurant, and she was working, so we were unable to see anything while we were patrons of this place. But it just goes to show that people, they build up such a tolerance to these substances that they are still able to lead a semi-functional everyday life. They can still hold a job. Now, I'm assuming this place never drug tested, or else she probably would not have a job. We never went back after I found out that she was in the hospital for cellulitis, for drug abuse, among some other things I found out about her once she was a patient. But it's very interesting. You really never know who you're going to come across who has an issue with opioid abuse or even alcohol abuse. So it's one of those things that, as other people have mentioned too, try not to judge. It's really hard. Most people have a story. We don't always know what it is, but that doesn't mean they have a good excuse. But it was just very interesting to hear your personal experience with track marks and how that is a real thing and it really can lead to cellulitis, and that these people you really can see out in everyday life trying to function, but clearly from a nurse's point of view we can always tell when something's wrong. So thank you for sharing.